Hey everybody, welcome back to the Hayden Alabama Podcast. I'm Philip.
I'm Shane.
Tonight you're in for an absolute treat. So we're going to be talking about relationships, those moments pre-relationship, and some of those moments in the middle. So y'all hang around. We're going to have a good show.
One day, my wife had a sectional. We got a sectional when we got married. And it was kind of getting old and run down. And I was on Facebook Marketplace. And a guy had a sectional couch, or wanted a sectional couch, and he would trade it for a Benelli shotgun. And I said, look, that's a deal. Like, I don't want this couch, but I would like a Benelli shotgun.
Absolutely.
So I messaged him, and my cousin Tyler had already messaged or commented on his post and said, look, I'll just pay you money for the shotgun. But right below it, I just said, I've got a sectional. I will trade. You pick, like, you want the money or you want the sectional? This guy wanted a sectional.
This ain't about money.
No. Don't want the money.
Did you get it? So
I went that day while my wife is at work teaching those little children, those precious little children.
Our tomorrow.
And she's working, and I remove the couch out of our house, the sectional couch, and I take it to the man, and I acquire this Benelli shotgun for the sectional. Tyler couldn't believe. He's like, I can't believe that guy took the couch over the money.
Yeah.
My wife, however, was even more baffled.
Oh, you didn't run this by her?
No, I did not tell her. She comes home, and there's no couch in the living room.
Nowhere to sit.
She loses her mind.
Yes, she forgives you for a lot of things. So this she was really mad.
She was so mad. I thought she would understand. I thought she'd be much more understanding of the trade, because in my mind,
it's a different mind.
It is a different mind. Yeah. But in my mind, I'm looking and seeing, okay, this couch is wore out. Like, we've had it for six months. We've had it for a while. It doesn't need to be here anymore.
Yeah.
But that Benelli shotgun.
Mm-hmm. Was it a Super Black Eagle?
It was a SB. I think that's right.
I'm with you. I mean, that shotgun today is what, $2,000?
It's just steadily going up, you know. I still have that shotgun.
Shotgun value goes up. Couch value does nothing but go down.
Perfect sense in my mind.
Mm-hmm.
There was,
again, we're not emotional thinkers.
No, but my wife, again, had lost her mind, and she said exactly what you just said. I have nowhere to sit. And I said, look, hey, we'll work this thing out. We'll figure this out.
Yeah, because have you seen my shotgun?
Have you seen the shotgun?
Let me show you the shotgun before you get so upset.
So, guess where we went the next day?
I'm guessing a furniture store.
To the furniture store. To Dogtown.
Ooh, hey, good value up there.
Great value. Yeah. So
I've got a follow-up question.
Yeah.
What did the couch run you? The replacement?
I could have bought a new Super Black Eagle.
But you wouldn't have this story.
But I wouldn't have this story, and we wouldn't have learned to grow together as a couple.
You're still married?
We made it through that. That's a test.
Had a couple of kids?
Since then. Yeah, we didn't even have children at that time.
I think she got over it.
She got over it, and she's happy today. I think if she were here, she would tell you that was actually a wonderful time in our marriage.
A growing moment.
Forged
our relationship. If you're in the market for a new house, I want to tell you about our latest sponsor, Vantage Plus. So they're general contractors. They specialize in new home construction, but also they do some dirt moving work. So clearing land, making roads. Y'all check them out. We'll make sure that we link the website and the phone number in the show notes.
When we first got married, we moved to Ohio. The railroad had offered me a job up there. And that was really the main reason that we had gotten married the way that we did. We kind of were going to wait, but the railroad said, hey, you're going to move. And Sarah said, well, I'm going with you. Okay, well, hey, we got to get married. So we got married, went on our honeymoon, and left our honeymoon, went straight to Ohio. Like, we didn't even come back home from our honeymoon. We just kept on driving right to Ohio. So that was 2010-ish, right? Yeah. So that winter, Ohio has the worst winter it can like in years since like the 70s. So it snowed from October.
I was fixing to say, but that is a record.
That is bad. October, it snowed from October through March. It did that's fact. And then when it started snowing, it started raining from March until about May. So it was rough.
Water table was in good shape.
It was in good shape. Plenty of water. But going to Ohio from Alabama, what do we not have a lot of in Alabama? Snow.
Snow. I mean, I can name a bunch of things.
Yeah.
Snow is right there at the time.
Lots of things missing in Alabama. But okay, I should have posed the question this way: what does Ohio have a lot of that Alabama does not have a lot of? Snow. Okay.
Ohio.
Mm-hmm. So we had went to a very nice restaurant one night with some really good friends we had made. And we had found a church there, and they would go to church there with us. They invited us to this nice restaurant. We hadn't known them too awfully long, maybe 2 or 3 months. So, when you meet another couple, you're just kind of trying to figure folks out, and so not only that, we go outside. So we go eat at a very nice restaurant. We come outside. Well, it had started to snow. There's fresh snow on the ground. Well, what is an old country boy who's played baseball his whole entire life? It's the first thing he's got to do. He's got to make a snowball.
Oh, yeah. Throw it at somebody.
You got to make a snowball, right?
Yeah.
Well, the thing about Ohio snow is it compacts.
It's not wet like ours.
And it compacts almost into an ice ball.
Mm-hmm.
I did not know that. I mean, let's say this. I was not aware of this behavior.
Yeah, firmness.
Down here, you throw a snowball, it just falls all apart. I also was not aware the longer you hold it, the more dense it becomes. So Sarah and Hannah had went to the restroom
together.
Got
it. As
normal. I'm hiding behind our car, and Dan's giving me some advice. Hey, are you going to throw that? I was like, Dan, hush, just be quiet.
Don't blow my cover.
Yeah, don't tell him I'm here, right? Sarah,
I'm fixing to make a big mistake. Get out of my way.
Leave me alone in this.
Let me make my mistake here.
Let me mess up. So I'm hiding behind the car. Sarah comes around it, and I didn't just kind of let her rip. I felt like I was just giving it a little toss.
No, you got a good arm on that left side over there.
Dan says I might even crow hopped a little. Dan said I got a pretty good one at a good 8 to 10 foot range. It centers her.
In the face. In the face. In the face.
It centers her in the forehead. She collapses, just folds, melted in the snow, in her nice clothes.
I mean, you knocked her down.
I have I have immediately recognized my
mistake. You can't take that back.
No, I can't. That's like squirting the toothpaste out of the tube.
Going back in there.
It's not going back in. She gets up, squalling, and of course,
the tears,
and
you can't defend that.
Dan's looking at me, Hannah's looking at me, Sarah's squalling, and I am just devastated. Like, I'm sorry, I can't say I'm sorry
like
enough.
Your dad just said he's disappointed in you.
I'm very Dan was disappointed. So she gets up, collects herself, wipes the snow from her face and the
blood off her wrist running down her nose.
Got a humongous red dot.
Hematoma.
Yeah, right on the forehead. And she is livid.
I bet.
Livid. I have from that day, I have never made her, I don't believe, more mad than I made her that night. And she's, of course, she just lit into me.
I bet.
Yeah. So I learned a lot of lessons in that one.
Did she ride home with you?
We were all in the car together.
Oh, that's your only hope.
That was the only savior.
I'm thinking, even though y'all are married, she's getting in the car with him.
If it were two separate cars, that would have exactly been what happened. Exactly. And of course, I'm apologizing the entire ride home. Look,
to no avail.
To no avail. It took weeks.
Really?
It took weeks.
It was more than a couple of days.
Yes.
More than in the morning. Yes. We're laughing this off.
I have never made her more mad than I made her that night. Rightfully so. I mean, I'm taking full responsibility for it. If we go to Ohio and Dan doesn't tell that story, it's a miracle because he loves
reliving he had no repercussions.
Oh, he had no repercussions. Absolutely none.
We like to tell stories about other people too. We didn't get hurt in.
Yeah. But I did that night. It was bad.
I can believe you did that. I mean, but if you'd have done that to me, I would have been mad at you, but then I'd be like, dude, that was a great throw.
That was a really good throw.
As long as I didn't have to go to the ER to get my face stitched up, I'd have got over it.
Yeah, Sarah didn't get over it for a while, but I'm sorry. Again, I'm sorry.
I'm sorry for bringing that back up. And she's just watching this going,
yeah,
I remember.
That's my headache. That's why I have headaches. That's probably why she's going to blame her headache. She's going to blame her headaches on me.
We're going to cut this out so that you don't have to worry about that.
Please do.
Are you in trouble? Well, we hope you're not. But just in case you are, we know a good lawyer. Whitney Island here in Hayden, Alabama has law services. Or maybe if you're not from Hayden, I'm sure she'd be happy to hear from you. So check her out at islandlaw.com. We appreciate Whitney and her sponsoring the show.
One thing that I remember of you, like the one thing that you do to Bethany that I remember of all the things, and we've talked about this before.
I'm nervous.
Don't be nervous. Is your unhealthy hairdryer habit, which I think you've covered this in the past.
Yeah, I did. I confessed it. The maddest that she got was when I had corona.
You had the coronavirus and she was mad at you? Oh, no,
she wasn't mad because I had corona.
Because you had the fever.
It corona, or is it just COVID? I don't know.
The vid.
The 19.
The itis.
Yeah. I was wondering because the news had taught us that you're probably going to die if you get it. That was still in that day. I mean, It was still at the point where people were still going crazy over it. Well, I was so cold. I'm cold-natured anyway, but I was so cold that I just was in the bed with the covers over my head. I had a little tent in there, and I had the hairdryer going under there, and I was still cold. So it's probably 108 degrees under the bed, and I'm just
still shivering.
Shaking. Well, did you ever have it? Did you ever have the vid?
If I got it, I don't know that I got it.
Okay. Well, when I had it, one of the most notable side effects was fatigue, sleepy. I mean, I would be awake, wake up, and in a matter of 10, 15 minutes, I want to go back to sleep. So you can imagine that's a bad deal. If you can manage the hairdryer under consciousness, you're fine. I didn't have that ability.
getting shit under consciousness.
Yeah, you got to have some responsibility when you got the hairdryer in the bed. So I laid it down to where the filter, I propped up the sheets so the sheets wouldn't come on the filter in the back and make it
even more hotter, like a jet engine.
And I got warm. What happens when you're comfortable and you're warm?
That maybe doze off a little.
Go to sleep. Well, I don't know how long I had been asleep, but Bethany is in the living room. She's trying to stay away from me. And she said, after a while, she's like, man, that hairdryer has been on and not moving.
Just a humming.
When she came in there, she comes in there, throws the covers off, just violently.
Yeah.
Uncovers me. I wake up. A hole was already being burned.
Goodness
in the cover.
Gracious.
And she said, were you asleep? It's like, no, I'm good. No, I'm not. What? I'm not. I mean, it was obvious I was not telling the truth. But I didn't want to face the repercussion of that. So I lost my hairdryer privileges. And so she takes it, obviously violent unplugging of the hairdryer, and she takes it away. And I really had no defense at that point.
It's like a child, like you have to lock up the plugs on the child's gaming device.
I had the smoking sheet. Yeah, I had no defense. I mean, it was the guilty verdict right there. But fast forward, I have two things to say about the hairdryer. Number one, I'm going to lead with this one. I've had numerous people who have made fun of me for my hairdryer habit come to me and say, I thought that was weird, but I tried it, and there is no faster way to warm your sheets up than the hairdryer.
Hairdryer.
I mean, what I've been telling y'all
makes perfect sense.
Been telling y'all for a long time this is the deal. So that's the first thing. So I've had a little bit of validation that my craziness is not so crazy when it comes to getting the job done. Number two, my mother-in-law has carried this memory with her because, of course, Bethany's going to share it with her. She couldn't keep something like that to herself. So for Christmas this year, I received a certified bed-safe warmer.
That blows hot air.
It blows hot air.
Does it work?
Absolutely. It's fantastic.
It's the way to do it.
I'll put the link in the description. So if you're out there and you're cold and you're looking for a solution for a warm bed, I've got you one. I didn't come up with it, but I will put the Amazon link in the show notes because it's fantastic.
It works.
It's got the timer. You set the temperature. So let's say you're sick. You want the warm bed. You don't want to worry about you going to sleep. Put it on a 15-minute timer. It'll go off on its own.
Goes to sleep.
And even if it stayed on for an hour, it's not going to burn your.
I might have to get one myself because we did the heat blanket thing, and I can't stand the heat blanket. I really can't.
Yep.
I don't like it to linger.
I'll send you a link.
Send it to me. Going back to Steve, he is a recent converter. You've converted Steve. He does the hairdryer thing. Vanna despises it.
I get it. I live with that. My wife doesn't like it either.
She doesn't like it.
I want to go back to the beginning. You talked about getting married and questioning whether Sarah was making the best decision.
Yeah.
I'd be lying to you if I didn't wonder if Bethany was making the best decision when I'd ask her. Did you ask mom or dad or both before you asked Sarah to marry you?
I did. Sarah's dad.
I think Bethany and I had been dating not a long time, 6 months, 8 months. So we're talking about people commonly date now.
Years.
2 years before they do this. So I was certain she was the missus, and I wanted it to be a surprise, but I wanted to know that I had her mom and dad's
approval.
Yep. Well, I was working at UAB at the time, and I've never been a big planner. I'm better at it today than I used to be, but my whole life up until the last couple of years have been in the moment.
Just wing it.
Just wing it. I mean, it will work out. It's proven time and time again.
Yeah.
Well, this was one of those days. I mean, I was sitting there, and then after work, I said, man, I was planning to ask Bethany to marry me New Year's Eve. I mean, this is probably a couple of days before.
I remember that. Yep.
So I was like, if I don't go up there tonight, I don't know if I'm going to get up there before the time that I wanted to ask her to be my wife. So I left UAB, and it's an hour and 15 minutes up to, Hearts, Vegas. And the whole time I drove up there, I was thinking, what are they going to say?
Yeah.
It's so simple because I tried to put myself a little bit in their place. They don't know me.
Mm-hmm.
I've been hanging around just a little bit. Who is this guy?
Yeah.
So I'm thinking, there's a decent chance that they go, not no, but
right now.
I might want to wait just a little bit longer. But I tell you, when I made the phone call, I was like, hey, are y'all at home? I'm pretty sure I did that in the moment. Like after work, made the phone call.
Yeah.
Hey, what are y'all doing this evening? And this is, I think I was working 12-hour shifts. This is after 7 p.m.
Mm-hmm.
And so I'm sure when I made that phone call and said, hey, I'm going to come up there and see y'all. I want to talk to y'all. I'm pretty sure, they knew. But I want to tell you, when I walked in the house, I'm thinking, I've got doom and gloom. I'm thinking that
I'm
going to be met
scenario.
at the door going, dude, you're crazy.
Yeah.
I welcome into the house. They're sitting there on the couch together, just kind of anxiously looking. And then when I told them what I came up there for, they're just excited.
Yeah.
And all that worry and anxiousness going up there, they just totally put it to rest.
Yeah.
But then I started thinking, man, they don't know me.
Yeah, but
they should have put up a little bit more fight than that. But they did, and they made it really, I hope that I will be able to extend that same courtesy. But I'm pretty sure I already don't like any guy that looks at my daughters.
Mm-mm.
Man, I don't want to be that guy.
But you need to a little bit.
Well, here's the problem. Here's the problem that every potential quarter has is me.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I'm the problem because I know.
Oh, I know.
And
I know, boy.
I know me, and I know all the mistakes and all my flaws and different things. And so I'm going to assume.
We've been there.
I'm going to assume that they are the same
exact way.
But also have to remember God's mercy and God's grace and what He can do.
Yeah.
How He can positively affect.
Well, obviously we're both living proof of that, of being able to just completely turn away from, I don't know any other way to put it, just a jackwagon.
That's the best way to put it. And still working. The process of sanctification doesn't end until the end.
I say we're not still jackwagons, but we're a long way from the jackwagon we were at 18, 19 years old.
It's just going to be tough.
I'm not looking forward to it. I know you're not looking forward to it.
I dread it.
You got some beautiful young ladies that you're raising, and there's going to be a lot of young boys that are some good, some bad, but you just got to put and we've talked a lot about faith. You just got to put the trust in the Lord and say, I can't fix this, but I know that God can send who He needs to send, and
hope He don't send one of me.
Just don't send one that was actually like me. Yeah. Yeah.
And that's the problem. I think if we polled an audience,
sure,
the most strict parents were probably some of the worst kids.
Yeah.
And that's why when I look at a situation and make a decision on my kids, who am I thinking about?
Yeah, me or them?
I'm thinking about what I would have been doing in that situation, what could potentially be happening in that situation, and not that I was the worst person in the world, but lived a lot of life, made a lot of bad decisions, and I have that.
Got a lot of stories for it.
Got all that, I got all those memories from those bad decisions.
Yeah.
And so I naturally think they're thinking in the same line of thought that I am. I hope they're not.
Hopefully they're not.
Time will tell.
But, they're all going to, and like you said, they're going to make those same mistakes. They're going to make those same choices.
And why do you not? So let's talk about that for a second. And I know I didn't understand why my mom and dad didn't want me to do things. I thought they were the fun police.
That's right, yeah.
But the reason that I try to steer my children in different directions is because of the hurt that has been experienced in that situation. I'm not the fun police. I want you to have a blast. You only get one shot at this thing.
Yeah.
But those painful consequences left brands on my life, and I just don't want them to have to experience those things. And so that's why I think like I do.
And the better we get as parents to portray that vocally in a understanding way, for them to understand and feel that same pain that we felt and not have to make that mistake and say, you're right. I really don't want to feel that way. The better parents that we're going to be.
I try not to be the parent that is just, and my parents were this way, just because I said so.
Yeah.
Don't go because I said so. That makes me think it's a lot of fun.
Yeah.
That's where my mind goes, this must be a ball.
Yeah.
Instead of just doing that, let me share with you some potential outcomes that you could experience that I guarantee you don't want to have.
Yeah, you don't want to have.
And there's some situation where you just got to take my word for it.
Yeah.
And that's where that trust is built between parent and child. But I do want to do that and spare them. Because, man, there's many situations you could not pay me to relive.
Don't want them to go through it either. Yeah, that's terrifying to me.
They're going to have some.
Yeah.
But the hope is sitting across from me today. The hope is sitting across from you today that no matter. Now, I'm sure there's still some people in my past, maybe that's watching right now, that look at this and go, man, I still remember you doing this and that hurt or whatever. I get it, and I'm sorry.
Yeah.
But overall, you can overcome. You can move down the road.
Yeah.
People gracefully forgive you.
Let's caveat that, though, through our Lord and Savior, Jesus Christ.
Oh, absolutely. I was just thinking, that's always there. I was just thinking, but I've had people forgive me.
Yeah, well, that's true. Right.
That they didn't have to.
Yeah.
I totally understood it if they would.
Yeah.
So but that's who makes you who you are.
That's who makes you who you are.
We made a journey tonight on a subject that I'm going to venture and say 99.9% of people can relate to, which is relationships, dating, marriage, mistakes,
friendship,
all the things. I hope that we had something tonight that either brought back a memory for you or maybe we taught a few lessons. We hope you got something tonight. We had a lot of fun going back down memory lane, and man, that's been how many years for you now? How many years have you been married?
14.
Man.
14 years.
I remember going to the church that day.
Yeah.
I absolutely do. And I'm sure you remember going to mine. Boy, that was an interesting couple of days.
Oh, me.
So we could do an entire show about Friday evening through Saturday night.
Yeah. Yeah, we could.
Good. Googly moogly. Again, that's just a piece of the testimony. Just a piece of the testimony. We've had a ball talking about that. We hope that it related to you and you got some laughs and entertainment tonight on our behalf.
Yeah.
But this is the Hayden Alabama Podcast. I'm Philip.
I'm Shane.
We'll see you next time.